Okay, Brayden, now that you've had a weekend to kind of process what happened against Cal, what are you feeling on Monday as your team says they're going to get back to work?
Just feeling excited to be able to, be here and do the things that we need to correct the mistakes that, ultimately led to the loss on Saturday.
What was the most, some of the moments that were most impactful for you where you say, okay, we got to be better in these situations?
I think we had a lot of, 3-and-outs, which was just kind of stinky because, we try all week to establish drives and establish the, line of scrimmage, but it's really hard to do when you go 3-and-out. So I feel like, we'll work on our third down conversions a lot this week.
What was the best thing the offense did after film review on Saturday night?
I feel like, early in the game, we moved the ball pretty good, but we kept shooting ourselves in the foot, so to say. But I think overall the best things that we were able to do is we picked up the blitzes pretty good, I feel like, and the running backs really did a great job, and the linemen too, on pass protection, which was something we had worked on all week. So I was really glad to see that happen.
A lot of the rhetoric last week was how dominating the offensive line was. So what kind of differences did you see this week, either by what BYU didn't do or what Cal did?
I feel like they still dominated very well, but some of the communications weren't there. So it was, domination of these three guys, and then we would miss a guy, but domination on the backside. And there was just, a couple of times where there was unblocked people getting squallies still in the backfield, which, is a bummer and everything. But, in the end, I feel like our O-line still played really well, and they were able to control the line of scrimmage because those guys are big beasts, and they're going to get their jobs done. We just need to execute a little bit better and get the communication down.
What causes those types of miscommunications?
I mean, it depends on the situation, obviously, but I think Cal did a really good job of, pre-snap switches and moving up their fronts and, switching things off when we went fast tempo. They would switch out of the D that they were in the play before and bring pressure off the edges, which, we're going to have to be able to realize that we have to make different calls rather than, against Arizona, they would line up in the same stuff before we did our fast call and after, which was really making big plays for us. But we have to be able to make those in-game adjustments.
You caught a touchdown pass. Have you caught a touchdown pass at BYU? Remind me.
Yeah, I have.
One?
I think 2.
So for a total of 3 now?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So that throw wasn't the easiest ball to catch. Can you describe what you had to do to make that happen?
It was just, a play. Against Arizona, we had run a lot of our outside zone play. And, I think the D-end thought I was coming to hit him. And right before I got to him, he put his head down for a collision like usual. And I just was able to slip out, and Mangum put it where it needed to be, and I was able to reel it in.
Brayden El-Bakri with us, recapping what happened between BYU and Cal.
And he has 3 touchdown catches, by the way.
Now he has 3 touchdown catches. Now you turn your attention to Wisconsin, and that's always a tough mental switch because you're frustrated. You feel like you should have won that game. You did, but now you got to go play a top 10 team in the country. What's the number one thing that jumps off the page about Wisconsin?
Number one thing is I think we have to be able to, control their inside 3D linemen. Because, besides that, we can make it up to the backers and be able to do our things. But, that up front vertical push is what we were going to really need.
Last year, this was a tough game at home, a 40-6 loss. So what kind of difference do you see in the team that played Wisconsin last year versus this team right now for BYU?
I feel like there's a lot more accountability personally, and, each player has their own things that they're personally going to work on. And then the coaches also hold us to a gigantic standard of what needs to be done, and everybody gets their grades after the game, and a lot of them are going to be negative, but it's going to help us realize what we personally need to work on after practice, away from the time that every other team is still practicing. What are we going to put in ourselves to make it better? And I feel like that's just something that's changed from last year to this year.
Do you have to do up downs for things that happen in a game in Monday's practice?
I don't know.
Did you last week? Did you, like, after the Arizona? It's like, hey, well, you didn't turn the ball over, I guess. So, but drops and whatever.
Like false starts and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure we did, but I don't remember up downs. I just do them. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we did or didn't.
Yes. Clearly, you are doing a lot of.
You're doing more than we are.
Yes,
yeah, that's
for sure. Now, Kalani Sitake, alluded to what he said to the team after the game was, look, I'm proud of how hard you played. And the effort was definitely there. Clearly you need to be more efficient. What was the message from Jeff Grimes specifically as the offensive coordinator? Because we haven't heard a lot about that.
I mean, I'm sure he's going to address this again today, but he just told us at halftime and other things that, we weren't giving it our best go. I mean, you always can give effort, but, there's a difference between punching a brick wall, or punching, where you're supposed to get through. So, I mean, you just have to be able to have great effort like we did, but also be tactical about it.
How much cheese will you consume this weekend?
Probably not a lot, or I won't be able to run.
Yes.
Measured in your cheese consumption. That's a upperclassman right there. Yeah.
All right, Brayden. What can BYU fans expect from BYU when they show up at Camp Randall on Saturday?
You guys can expect that we're going to give it our all, and we're going to try to make you guys proud.
That's all you can ask for.
Thanks, Brayden.
Yep. Thanks, guys.